So, what do you know about how autism is understood in the Filipino community?
Only from what I've experienced.
Yeah.
It's not that I've read up on it, but I mean, from what I've experienced, I think it's still a taboo,
Mm-hmm.
and which is unfortunate. But I understand in that, you know, when I was a kid, there was none. Or it was super rare. I never heard of a child on the autism spectrum.
Mm-hmm.
So now, I mean, there's a handful in that I already know of that are in our community, our Filipino community, and so it must be different
Yeah.
for and difficult for older generations to grasp and understand. Um, my hope is I get the younger generation and that they understand it so that it becomes like normal. Um, like I
Right.
see it's kind of like, how Ellen has her show and she's homosexual. And when she first started, it was like, ooh, like it was taboo. But now it's like, oh, it's Ellen. you
Mm-hmm.
know,
Yeah.
I'm hoping that's the same with this,
Right.
that float goes into our homes. It introduces you to the idea. You see the journey that the father goes through and the son. You see what it's like, and hopefully you get an understanding and build some kind of empathy
Mm-hmm.
for the father. And so next time when you go out and you see a relative that's dealing with somebody on the spectrum or is on the spectrum, then that you have some empathy and you know what's going on. And um, so you don't treat them differently
Mm-hmm.
because they don't want to be treated differently. They just want to be treated normally, like, uh, yeah. So
Yeah.
I'm hoping we get to that point. And I know it's not there yet, but,
Yeah.
steps,
But
steps
yeah,
forward.
steps, and it's projects like this, that'll really push awareness and acceptance.
Yes. And yeah, and your podcast as well. Like it's every little bit
Yeah.
that like gets out there into the community, um, and raises awareness and and then again, hopefully in 5, 10, 15 years, it's like whatever. So,
Yeah.
so you're on the spectrum. All right, whatever. Come here. Like,
Mm-hmm.
let's hang out. I don't care. It's no big deal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, you were saying that it's kind of taboo in the Filipino culture, in the
Mm-hmm.
Filipino community, to talk
Mm-hmm.
about autism. I think actually to talk about kind of maybe any problems in general, but
Oh yeah, right.
right. But yeah, disabilities like mental health,
Mm-hmm.
I feel like there's still this kind of saving face of
Yes.
like, especially to the public. Maybe people will confide in very close relationships,
Mm-hmm.
but from what I've seen, it's very much like if you have a problem, you hold it in.
Yes. What what but what I will say to that too, again, I think it is the older generation. I think it's
Hmm.
your generation and the ones that'll come after, that are open to telling their how they feel and their mental health. I see it. I see it. I know my generation. I'm a bit older than you, but we I, we we still hold it. But I think we're getting there. We're letting it go too as
Yeah.
well. But I see your generation. It's definitely push for more mental health, to let it be normal,
Hmm.
that we can confide in one another, and so I have hope for the future.
Yeah.
I definitely have hope for the future.
What did your family think of the film? Like your extended family?
I think they loved it, and But you know what? Maybe it's because we are Filipinos. It's not like we had a deep thought or a deep conversation afterwards. It's like, good job. Like it's
Right.
it's not like, I never realized you went through that, Bobby. That's incredible. Well, let's talk more about that. Or like, it was nothing like that. But that's okay. It's okay. I'm okay. Actually, and my family was really good. My close family was really good when I told them about Alex's diagnosis, and they all treat him like all the other nephews. So yeah, so it's good. My family's been good.
So your characters are the first lead Filipinos portrayed in a digital format, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
What is that like for you? What does it mean for you to see your culture represented on screen?
It means the world to me, because I could count on one hand all the Filipinos I saw growing up on TV and on screen. And I know it's the beginning of more to come. And not just from me, but from other Filipinx creators out there. And I'm just proud that I helped break the barrier. And that this is the landmark film that did it. And so it's nice, but we got a lot more to go. There's a lot more to do.
Yeah. And another little fun fact about Filipino culture is that they care a lot about careers and professional status. So,
right.
How did your family react when you decided to pursue a career as an animator?
Surprisingly, very well. Because I've heard the other stories of parents saying, no, you got to be a doctor, a lawyer, an engineer, a nurse. yeah. And I get it, because they don't want you to starve, and they want you to have a good life, and being an artist at the time, that was pretty much saying, yeah, I'm gonna go starve. But I think times have changed now, that because when I was growing up, it was in the 80s and the 70s and 80s, and so there wasn't really a lot of good cartoons out there and good comics or good art. But now I think with Pixar and Disney and now that there's Float, that you can argue with your parents, like, oh yeah, look at him, he's actually doing pretty good, and he's an artist, so why can't you let me do this? When I was a kid, there was none.
Yeah.
I couldn't go, oh, look at that guy, he's doing it, Mom, come on, let me do this. I credit my mother, who was very supportive from the beginning. Maybe it's because I wasn't good at much other than drawing, or I didn't show interest in nursing. I didn't show interest in numbers, so I couldn't be or be a lawyer. I didn't show any interest in that. I think she recognized that I had a gift, and she nurtured it. So today's my mom's birthday, so
yeah, happy birthday, Mama Rubio.
Yeah, so I was reflecting this morning and thinking about her and how awesome she is, and so yeah, it could have been another outcome had I had different parents. It could have been, we never might have had Float. We never would have had this. So grateful for my mom and everything she's done for me.
You've been watching Autism Knows No Borders. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel. Also, we'd love to hear from you, so let us know what you think in the comments section. Click here to watch this interview in its entirety. You can also find us on your favorite podcast app. Tune in each week for engaging conversations of how people across the globe are inspiring change and building community. Thanks for watching. Take care.